ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of StarCraft Inc. Today, I have a game for you between IMMVP and LIQUIDHUK. IMMVP spawning in the bottom right of Metalopolis. Oh man, this guy, he is one solid player on the clan of Incredible Miracles. He has defeated players like Marine King Prime very one-sidedly in GSL and things like that. This guy he's so good. He's just one of those, he plays so standard. He's kind of like Whiterun. He's the Whiterun Terran. He macros beautifully. He micros strong. He doesn't really do anything unorthodox, but he is so solid. And on the other side of the map, we have LIQUIDHUK, man. Part of Team Liquid, one of the most famous clans in all of StarCraft, or at least in America, I'd say. They very much represent our area for some reason. I don't know what it is, but they've got great PR. I think it's partly because of TeamLiquid.net and all that stuff, but he is in the same clan as other players like TLO, and so many more that all of you guys know. I know you do. And he just won 2011 DreamHack, and I don't even feel bad about spoiling that for you, because there's no way you can look at a StarCraft website and not see that. So, man, LIQUIDHUK, some people like him, some people hate him. I personally really like him. I'm not going to choose favorites. I'm not going to say who I like more or less than him, but I really like LIQUIDHUK. He's a very strong Protoss player with very aggressive 3-gate openers and things like that. It tends to be his style. Very aggressive micro early game into a very strong late game macro. But once again, nothing really out of the ordinary. Nothing really bizarre. So, two very back to the old ways players, but both very talented indeed. So, I can't wait for this game to get started. This is going to be a very fast-paced game, I can tell already. A lot of banter going on between these two players. I believe this is just a public game, a show match or a ladder match, something like that. This isn't part of a tournament or anything like that. But, come on, now, LIQUIDHUK has to be the flavor of the week, especially after winning DreamHack. I want to get back to watching him. I haven't seen a game from him in a long time. I haven't even watched DreamHack yet. But I'm going to hammer through those. I'll try to cast a lot of the DreamHack games too, if you guys haven't already seen them. If you have, maybe it'll be a nice rewatch. I don't know, we'll see. But love the guy. This is a true story. Back when Huck lived in Canada, before StarCraft 2 came out, I played hockey with him, so that's pretty cool. He probably doesn't even remember me though, but who knows. But I wouldn't even know how to reach him anymore. We obviously don't talk ever since he moved to Korea. But that's House League for you though. House League hockey, man, in Canada, you have a different team every year. You don't get attached to the people on your team. You love them for the year, and then after that, it's kind of, you move on, which is sad. Hockey should be about camaraderie. But of course, this is video games. How many of you play sports? Give me a thumbs up if you play sports. You should. I mean, get your legs moving. You're going to die of a heart attack if you sit in your chair and play StarCraft all day, even though I do love me some StarCraft. You know what? I should power my computer with a treadmill and just play StarCraft on that. That would keep me active, and that would keep me playing StarCraft. And I think if I stopped running, StarCraft should die, and if I stop StarCrafting, I should die. I think that's how that should go. Anyway, we are going to see Huck get that nice chrono-boosted stock route and going to deny a lot of scouting from IMMVP with that early SCV. What do? I'm going to take a drink. That's what I'm going to do. So we actually saw a 1-gate fast expand from Huck with 2 gates following it up. So nice 3-gate early pressure. Like I said, he's probably going to be pumping in a lot of units now as he builds nothing from his gateway. I feel like an idiot. That's okay though. We are seeing an early starport from IMMVP. This is a 1-1-1 Destiny Cloudfist Husky style for the win, and an early Banshee. Now, I don't know, this is going to be bad news. We do have Cloak on the way for that Banshee, but look at this, I don't know, did Huck scout that? Did he scout that? No, he didn't. But something that he did at one point told him he needed a Robo Bay. Maybe it's just incorporated in his build, but good choice, sir, good choice. Please get an observer right away. Come on, Huck, you need an observer. There are bad things coming your way. This Banshee is almost completed. A second one on the way. And like I said, investing in that invisibility, so he is definitely committing to this style, and an observer is on the way. It's being chrono boosted out, so it will be out in time, and because Banshees are Banshees, they cannot shoot air. I guess that's not really an explanation as to why they can't shoot air, but it is a fact, and Stalkers are here more than enough time to get this Banshee. Now, as I've been, bickering about the Banshee, up here in the top right, we have an expansion going down. That is a very sneaky expansion indeed. And will this... No, okay, I was going to say, will this Banshee be able to use its mobility and the lack of non-blink Stalkers? These do not have blink yet, obviously. It's only 7 minutes into the game, and there's a fast expand. But it looks like he shut that down pretty easily. And a second Banshee on the way with Cloak. He must not know that he has observers. He couldn't have scouted the Robo Bay. But there is 3 Stalkers and an observer. And this Banshee's in a lot of trouble. So this is going to be 2 Banshees down for IMMVP. And he hasn't killed anything for it. We are seeing Hawk at 58 supply and IMMVP at 39 supply. But already now that this is done and morphing into an orbital command, that will very quickly pay for itself. The observer coming in here going to see everything. I mean, he already knows he has a factory because Banshees came out, but now he sees the tech labs on both the barracks and the factory. So we are seeing some heavy mech with some Marauder play. Not a lot of Marines in this mix, and that tells Hawk a lot. Stalkers are not going to be a good choice. Well, right now they are because obviously he outnumbers him, but late game, if he can't do some damage here, he needs to transition out of Stalkers because they're not going to do well against Marauder tank. But he does have an Immortal in the mix. He has Sentries for Guardian Shield. He has lots of Zealots to tank damage for the rest of his army, and this is a pretty large, scary army. If anything, he can keep the Terran in his base. But it will not be wise for him to push up the ramp. And the army comes down the ramp! Force field going down on the ramp. Gonna cut that army off. And a medevac picking it up for IMMVP. What amazing reaction time. Saving most of his units and getting them back in the bunker. That was incredible to me. Oh my goodness. So this bunker is going to do a lot of work. A siege tank in brilliant position to shell those Zealots, but doing damage to his own bunker. But oh man, I think IMMVP salvaged a very poor situation, making the most out of what could have been a game-ending scenario. Now these Stalkers are up against Marauders and siege tanks. They cannot deal with that, and they need to pull back. More Stalkers being warped in. I don't think LIQUIDHUK is done here. However, he may just be sitting there hoping to deny an expansion. He does not know that this one exists, which he's got to feel it. Because if that expansion didn't exist, there would be more units here for IMMVP. He would not be able to do the damage he's doing here. Tried to drop a pylon, but right away, siege tanks deny that pylon. These Stalkers do not have blink, but they're going to try to brute force their way into this. They're taking so much damage, and I don't know if this is the best decision for Huck. The Marauders are going to tear them apart very quickly with the support of the SCVs. But if anything, LIQUIDHUK is forcing his opponent to pull the line. 2 proxy pylons are now finished. Zealots coming up here to get high ground with the Stalkers. Going to try to tank some of that siege tank damage. But a very well placed bunker goes down for IMMVP, which would have forced his units to go the long way around. This is just becoming tedious for Huck. He's putting on so much pressure, and IMMVP is now wasting the units as they come. It's not even worth warping in, I think, anymore for Huck, as his units take damage while they're warping in. And wow, they do finish. And an Immortal is rallied here from the Robo Bay. This is brilliant play from Huck. I don't even know if IMMVP can recover from this. The Immortal does go down, and Zealots cutting up so many of the SCVs here. But they are bio as well as being mechanical, and the medevac can heal those. More Zealots being warped in, and IMMVP doesn't even have time to shoot these pylons. Now he finally gets a chance. He's going to shoot those down, and look at the damage that Huck has done here. Very low saturation in the mineral line, and he does scan and get that observer. So good decision by IMMVP. A lesser player would have died to that. Man, I thought Huck had him. That was so good. What an epic beginning to what looks like it's going to be an interesting game. Now, like I said, Huck does not know about this. Let's take a look at Huck's cam. He has no idea. He actually came as far as scouting this, and and then turned around, which is funny to me. But yeah, not a good situation for IMMVP right now. This is so vulnerable, but I think going over there to build stuff here and defend it would be counterproductive, as I believe that might reveal its location. But where is this probe going to go right now? I'm worried that this probe might find this, and another observer wandering in here for Huck, scouting everything. Will IMMVP see it on screen, scan it, and kill it? I don't know. But regardless, Huck setting up his units in good location to stop any kind of drop. Look at this preemptive split. I really like that. It covers his bases, and he's got map control. He does have a stalker on the tower, so nothing is getting through this space without Huck seeing it. He's got 2 Stargates on the way, which is, I think, a fantastic choice. Void Rays are so strong against Terran, and especially a Terran that is crippled as IMMVP is currently. But he's almost mined out as his main. He will now be taking this natural here and setting up a position with siege tanks, a bunker, and lots of bio. But the problem is, Huck with his Robo Bay, if he gets a warp prism, this base is pretty vulnerable. And these tanks are sieged up. It'll be a long time before they can ever come and defend against anything. But a Raven is coming out for the Terran player, and that will play towards PDD. PDD will be a very valuable weapon against Huck right now, as he is very heavy stalkers. But he is getting those Void Rays right now, like I said, and they do have a channel attack, which is not denied by PDD. But at the very least, he will be able to scout the observers in his base, kill those. And really, those are killing IMVP. Huck is getting way too much information from his observers. And basically, IMMVP is playing against essentially map hacks. But Huck here in good position. He's ahead of base. Well, sort of. He's been mining longer. They are both on 3 bases. But let's take a look at the income tab to see how this is actually playing out. Protoss is ahead. But it looks like it's teeter-tottering due to the mules, but actually they're looking pretty even, and the Terran player has caught up in harvester count after losing so many SCVs. I'm not sure how that ended up happening. Maybe Huck just stopped producing probes at 57. It looks like that might be the case, and this base is really paying for itself. IMMVP is only even still in this game because of this base. I'm so shocked that Huck has not scouted it yet. But I am so impressed with that opening and how this game has started. That was so phenomenal. And once again, also impressed with IMMVP for being able to survive that. Like I said, a lesser player definitely wouldn't have. We have no upgrades on the bio right now for the Terran player. We do have Zealot Charge on the way, Void Rays, and Shields, level 2. So Huck really on top of his upgrades, and the shields will benefit both his ground army and his air army, so that is why he may have chosen shields over maybe ground weapons or anything like that. Where did those medevacs go? I don't know. There they are, medevacs and ravens. That is quite the potent army, but the observer scouts, and Huck will be in position. What is he gonna do about this though? A PDD will go down, as the stalkers are the mobile unit that would have come to deny this, and they're all denied by a PDD. We do have, well, look at how many Void Rays are here for Huck. Stalkers getting right in the bio's face, but they do back up to this PDD, which stops so much, and the Void Rays will be able to chase these medevacs down. Oh my gosh, all the medevacs go down for IMMVP. He's taking hit after hit. This is not going well for him at all, and these Void Rays will be able to come in here and do so much damage. Vikings coming out on the reactor for the for IMMVP from the starport. Void Rays tearing through this base, setting that factory ablaze. No more factory tech. Lots of Marines coming in, but they're stimmed and already low health, and Huck will be able to micro his Void Rays away. Brilliant play by Huck. He's playing so flawlessly. Oh my goodness. Vikings do come out. They are completed, and it will be up to the Void Rays to try to take those out, but micro from IMMVP makes that very difficult, and he's trying to crank out 2 more Vikings, and it's gonna work. These Vikings are making a mess of the Void Rays without ground support. Oh, there is ground coming in here to just absolutely humiliate IMMVP's ground army. However, 2 siege tanks in very good placement make a push from the ground very difficult. And those Vikings are paying for themselves. I think they've each killed a couple Void Rays. That one's only got 1 kill, but they're going to back and forth make fun of these Void Rays because the Void Rays cannot chase him. I'm surprised he hasn't repaired his Vikings from the ground with the SCVs, but now the Immortals are coming in, not Immortals, Marauders are coming in to try to destroy the Stalkers that are assisting the Void Rays. This is such an intense conflict right here. This ground army needs to deal with this ground army before they destroy the Stalkers, because these Vikings are making a mess of the Void Rays in the air, and just both players all over the map with their micro, and just every unit is supporting the other units around them so well. Wow, both these players just... I want Huck to find this base, though. I'm not really even cheering for any particular player, but this is frustrating. This is such an easy expo for him to find, and he has not found it yet. These Void Rays are going to cross the map. They're going to look for a hidden 4th over here, or, well, what he thinks is a 3rd, but maybe not. He's not even going to scout that. This probe needs... Oh, he's going to find it right now with a probe. He knows that's there, and here we go. Right away, the second he sees that, LIQUIDHUK is on the way. He's not going to wait for a second, and LIQUIDHUK dropping his own 4th. I think Huck's in a good position to take the gold. I think that might have been a better choice, maybe even easier to defend. IMMVP trying to take a tricky expansion, but denied by the Void Rays. He's actually going to lose that command center, which is a huge setback. The Vikings are going to try to tear up these Void Rays, but before that happens, the Void Rays are going to take out the tanks. So I would say that's a very fair trade. 4 Void Rays for a command center and like 3 or 4 siege tanks. And IMMVP is going to lose this base up here. He's not even going to lose the command center though. Huck, I think, is worried about a counterattack, and he's collecting his units over here to be able to defend his bases. But look at this, building another command center right at the gold. IMMVP is being so aggressive with his expansions after losing his army, which is ballsy. But we have carriers coming out for a Huck. Oh, I'm so glad I found this game. What an amazing game. This is one of my favorite games I've cast in a long time. But these are 2 high level, just unbelievably high level players. You can't expect anything else from these guys. I don't know. But I hope you guys like Huck. I know there's a lot of guys that don't. They make fun of him for talking about his pillow. But man, I tried that pillow thing. My bum has never felt so special. It's just like, oh, spoil me. And I'm talking about my ass now, and there's like 300 people watching me talk about my ass, and I'm okay with that. And look at these Stalkers. Did they get that? They did get the missile turret. I love it. Oh, 5 Stalkers come in here, they cause some shit, and they take off. Huck, you're an asshole, but I love you. Okay, so we are seeing this command center land and already being used again. So this command center has kept IMMVP in the game so long. And after getting attacked here, it made its maiden voyage over here to this new expansion, this newfound land, and it's gonna, ravage it. That's because that's what people do when they explore. But at least there's no women to rape. That would be bad, and I couldn't show that on my channel. That would also be bad. And I'm too lazy to add censorship. That's why I swear all the time. Fuck. So we've not seen this turn into an orbital command or a PF. So I'm not sure what the plan is here. We do have a sensor tower. But I'm sorry, man. If you see Huck's army coming, that's great. But what are you going to do about it? Huck is so far ahead. He needs production, though. He needs more production. Although he is spending his money pretty good, which is surprising. He's on 4 bases. Well, 3.5. Oh, 2.5. He's pretty mined out, man. Wow. I did not know that. But we do have an engagement here. We did see EMPs, lots of EMPs going down on Huck's army, on those Immortals, so they do not have their ability, and on those sentries, so very few force fields can go down. This is turning into a PF, but carriers don't care, and he's got a lot of bio to worry about. Not many Marines. Storm goes down. What a storm. And I'm screaming in your ear, but I don't care because this is an awesome game. And holy cow, man. We have... Storm is going to clean up what's left. This gold expo looks like it's going to get denied. And oh my goodness. That's what awesome sounds like. But, oh my goodness. I forget what words are. I forget how to speak. But no, we are going to see these Vikings go down in the air, And a Ghost survives the ordeal with 2 kills. I wonder if EMP counts towards kills, but I don't think so. But a command center is going to go down here. It looks like this command center from up here, which that's funny to me. He really wants that gold, though. And because of mules, he'll be able to pay for it as soon as it lands. And Huck going to come in here. He's going to clean up these 2 Vespene geysers, which is a good choice because if Huck decides he's going to take this, he doesn't want his opponent to scout it. But at the same time, thanks to IMMVP's bastard style play, yeah, I'm not going to censor that either. This is already mined out, and Huck can't use it to the best of his abilities, so that's too bad for Huck. So that already means that Huck is down a long-term base. But look at this DT just chilling here. I like that. I like that a lot. And another DT. I like that a lot too. And I wish a DT would come in here and screw with this base. That would be nice. But it really sounds like I'm cheering for Huck, doesn't it? Well, maybe I am, just a little deep down in my soul. But I mean, if IMMVP wins this game, I will not be upset. He's done his best, man. Although I wish he'd get out of this bio play. I mean, he's seen High Templar, and unless he can make miracle workers out of his ghosts, he's not going to be able to survive the storms that come out of Huck. But really, IMMVP needs something to deal with those carriers. I don't see Vikings anywhere. In fact, there are no Vikings on the field, and none being produced. Oh, 2 now on their way, right as I said that. But those are the first Vikings that he's built since the last conflict. Oh, there's tons on the field. Where did those come from? You bastard. But no, we do have a large army here for Huck. Good ground army supporting a very powerful air army. And long distance mining. He's not even going to bother with a Nexus here, which I actually think is a very good decision from Huck. And I'm surprised he hasn't decided to take this expansion here. Although siege tanks here and here can make mining from that gold base very difficult for Protoss. And kind of a fail storm from Huck, which is too bad. But I mean, after his last storms, you can't bitch at this guy for storms. We do have a Warp Prism here with lots of High Templar in it, which is funny to me. I'm not sure what the plan for that is, though. And look at all these Vikings here. They're going to be free Vikings, though. 1 Viking does go down to the Stalkers on the ground. And where did that Warp Prism go? Oh, I have to find it. There's a Warp Prism here somewhere. Something awesome could be happening. I don't know. But anyway, this is becoming a very scary army for Huck as more and more carriers are added to the mix. Another carrier completed and on the way, building its interceptors. It's like, fuck yeah, man, I'm gonna rip shit up. That's pretty much. Yeah, that's not how carrier pilots sound. I wish they did, though. I think after a few drinks they might. But don't fly and drive. That's not safe. But fighting the Terran, that's completely safe. Just wear a condom. But no, LIQUIDHUK and his army are just chilling north of the gold base, and I'm not really sure what his plan is. This bio army on the ground, along with the Vikings in the air, is becoming quite scary in size. But there's a lot of carriers. I mean, he scanned it, but scan doesn't do damage to carriers. Although, next patch, man. I mean, Terran, you get on those forums and you bitch, and maybe you'll get lucky. Patch 1.1.4 scan does damage to everything. But, oh god, those zealots evaporate before they even make contact with the bio. Enough Vikings here to one-shot a mothership. And Storm goes down. Look at how soft that bio is. Some storms very clearly got off. And siege tanks shelling the army on the ground, as well as a good timed EMP on those stalkers, makes them all extremely soft. Another sex joke there, but that's one for another day. And these Vikings are not good right now. They are what is keeping IMMVP in this game after this. He's got like token moments that are saving his ass, but somehow these carriers managed to kill all the Vikings except for 2, and those Marines are going to tear apart the remaining carriers. But this carrier, come on, turn around and fight. Yes! Yes! And the carrier is gonna get away, maybe. Yes. After it mutilates a couple Marines. I like that lots. And a bunch of Marauders feeling brave. Look, yeah, man. If we aim our... I ran out of jokes. So the carrier is going to get away free and kill a siege tank. Yep, that's what it's going to do. On a nice safe walk home, you know, it's just going to pop a siege tank. That's what you do when you're bored and you're a carrier. Some of them like to blow up planets, but others settle for a siege tank, I guess. So that poor carrier, after dying, doing what he loves, is going to go down and leave an Archon to tank Marauders for him, which, you know, I don't think is fair, but what do? Zealots on the ground gonna fight those Marauders, and Marauders aren't too good against Zealots, not when they have charge, and not when these Marauders are missing limbs from the last fight, but because of this Viking count that IMMVP is forced to produce, he's not got a lot of medevacs in his army. In fact, he's just now building 2 medevacs, which are all he's got. And Huck, I don't understand this. Switching out of carriers into Colossus, that seems like a downgrade to me, seeing as how the Colossus can't even shoot back at the Vikings, and there are a lot of Vikings being produced. But now it's going 1 medevac and 1 Viking. We are seeing ground weapons. Yeah, I don't know why he's going into Colossus. He's got to completely restart his upgrades. I mean, these carriers, let me see. What are their grades? They're 3, almost 3 across the board. So I really disagree with the switch to Colossus, but it's Huck, man, I won't argue. I'll just cry. And check out this, man. We've got this pesky DT preventing this command center from landing. Please go kill that missile turret, but it doesn't even matter because the scan goes down, and now he cannot block this command center any longer. And this is a big Terran bio ball with Vikings, which makes me sad and scared, and I think I need to clean my pants. Ugh. But LIQUIDHUK, he's like, I'm not afraid. He's still going to spit out an army, and he's still going to fight this shit. Still long distance mining what was robbed from him earlier, and he does have the gold now. I don't know when that happened. Wasn't really paying attention. I was mostly just excited over all this shit stabbing one another, shooting and stabbing. I guess Terran doesn't do a whole lot of stabbing, but Zealots, they do a lot of stabbing. I'm just saying. And LIQUIDHUK is going to be flying around here with his warp prism. And what's this gonna do? I don't know. There's a lot of mules here. He's gonna freaking strip mine this. This is gonna be mined out so fast. It's not even funny. Come on, use the warp prism. And there's a drop going down in Huck space. And those Marauders and Marines are making a mess. And they're not gonna clean up afterwards. A Colossus does get canceled as the Robobay goes down. And Huck's like, I don't even give a shit. I'm just gonna kill everything you have. And he does that with carriers and Colossus and Zealots and Archons, and this is a badass army. Gonna take IMMVP's last 2 expansions that still have mining capability, as this is mined out. Lots of carriers in the air, and despite Viking support, there are so many upgrades on those carriers, along with 2 Colossus adding so much splash damage to the mix on those ground armies. Storm going down, very preemptive, very well placed, as the army does have to run through it to get away from the Protoss army, and that is instantly vaporized as they try to engage. IMMVP GG's to the DreamHack champion LIQUIDHUK from Canada. Yes, I will rub that in because I am Canadian. And you're watching StarCrafting.